Something moved just now. Not out there. In here, in the unseen room where decisions about your life get made before they ever touch the earth. A door that has been locked for months just swung open, and you felt the draft before you understood why. You didn't click on this by accident. I rearranged the timing of your entire evening so you'd be sitting exactly here, exactly now, hearing exactly this. Let me tell you what's ending. The season where you had to shrink yourself to survive that workplace. Over. The meetings where your ideas got quietly stolen and handed back to you with someone else's name on them. I saw every single one. The nights you sat in your car in the parking lot, keys in your lap, unable to make yourself walk back inside. I was in that car with you, even when it felt like an empty seat. You have been doubted by people who couldn't do in a year what you do by accident on a Tuesday. That ends now. I'm not talking about a small adjustment. I'm not talking about a slightly better mood at your desk on Monday. I am talking about a full reversal, the kind where the very people who whispered about you start asking you how you did it. The kind where the room that used to go quiet when you walked in starts going quiet for a different reason entirely. Something shifted in the spiritual order of your life in this exact hour. Write down the time. You'll want to remember it. Let me take you through what actually happened back there, because you've only seen half of it. You thought you were being overlooked. I was watching you get overqualified for a version of your life you were about to outgrow. Every closed door, every passed over promotion, every meeting where your name got left off the list. I let those doors stay shut because the room behind them was too small for what I already built you to carry. The coworker who took credit for your work. The manager who made you feel small in front of a room full of people. The client who doubted you before you even opened your mouth. I heard every dismissive comment. I watched every eye roll you weren't supposed to see. None of it went unnoticed, and none of it goes unanswered. Here is what I need you to understand about criticism: it only exists where influence is about to exist. Nobody wastes energy tearing down a person they don't secretly sense is rising. The very people mocking your effort right now are unconsciously reacting to a future they can feel coming but can't explain. You were never behind schedule. You were being positioned. Think about every idea you pitched that got shot down in that meeting room, the one that made you go quiet for the rest of the day. I didn't forget it. I filed it. Some of what got rejected in that room is about to resurface in a completely different room, in front of completely different people, and this time it won't be met with silence. It will be met with attention. There is a difference between being overlooked and being protected from premature exposure. What felt like rejection was actually timing. If you're ready to stop replaying old humiliations and start walking toward what's actually coming, do something with me right now that matters more than a notification bell. Subscribe as your way of saying, I'm done living small for people who never deserved my potential in the first place. Let this be the moment you stopped explaining yourself to rooms that were never going to understand you anyway. Here is the part nobody warns you about: reversal doesn't always look like celebration. Sometimes it looks like confusion on someone else's face. Picture the specific person who has doubted you the loudest. Not in vague terms, you know exactly who I mean. Picture their expression the day they realize what you've built while they were busy underestimating you. That expression is coming. Not because I want them humiliated. Because truth eventually surfaces, and when it does, the people who mocked the process get to witness the result they said would never arrive. In the next few weeks, watch closely for a moment that feels almost staged, almost too perfectly timed, a piece of recognition landing in a room where you least expect applause. A deal closing that everyone said would fall through. A promotion offered by someone who never once asked how you were doing during the hardest stretch. An opportunity showing up specifically because someone finally saw the thing they spent months ignoring. That is not coincidence. That is the exact moment the critics become spectators. They stop having opinions about your effort and start simply watching your outcome. They stop offering advice you never asked for and start quietly studying what you did differently. The mockery turns into curiosity. The curiosity turns into something close to respect, even if they never say the word out loud. Some of you are standing at the edge of a business decision right now, terrified to take the leap because everyone around you has an opinion about why it won't work. I want you to know, the opinions are about to go quiet. Not because the doubters suddenly changed their minds about you, but because results have a way of ending arguments that words never could. If what I just described touched something specific. If a face or a name flashed through your mind the second I mentioned someone who doubted you the loudest, type 555 right now. Let that number be your marker. A private signal between you and me that says, I receive this reversal, and I'm not talking myself out of it before it even arrives. Before this shift fully lands, there is something in you I need to adjust. Not punish. Adjust. Somewhere in the last few years, you started measuring your worth by the reaction of people who were never going to clap for you anyway. You built a habit of shrinking your ideas in meetings before anyone even got the chance to reject them. You started apologizing for taking up space at a table you were fully qualified to sit at. That habit has to go, because it will not survive what's coming. You cannot walk into elevation while still flinching at criticism the way you used to when you had less to lose. Here is the correction: stop explaining your decisions to people who only show up when there's something to critique. You do not owe your business plan, your career pivot, or your late-night grinding to anyone who has never once asked how they could help you carry it. Silence toward your doubters is not coldness. It is protection for the very thing about to bear fruit. I also need to correct something quieter, the part of you that has started to enjoy the idea of revenge more than the idea of restoration. It's tempting, after everything, to want the doubters to suffer, to want the reversal to sting them the way their words stung you. I understand the impulse. But I am not handing you this shift so you can gloat. I am handing it to you so you can finally exhale. Let the critics become spectators quietly. Let your work speak in a tone you never had to raise your voice to use. The loudest vindication is the kind that requires no explanation, because the results are doing all the talking. There's a name sitting in your mind right now, someone who needs to hear that their season of being dismissed is also closing. Maybe a coworker going through the exact thing you just walked through. Maybe a business partner who's been quietly absorbing criticism nobody knows about. Send this to them. You'll know exactly who it is, because their name showed up the second I said it. Let me show you where this ends, because you deserve to see the whole picture, not just the middle of the storm. There is a room coming, maybe an office, maybe a stage, maybe just a quiet conversation across a desk, where you will sit differently than you used to. Not louder. Not desperate to prove anything. Just settled. The kind of settled that only comes after you've survived being underestimated and came out the other side with your character intact. People who once spoke about you in hallways will ask to speak with you directly. People who once dismissed your pitch will ask you to walk them through how you did it. This is not fantasy. This is the natural outcome of consistency meeting the right timing, and I have been arranging that timing since before you noticed the wait. You will look back at the version of you sitting in that parking lot, keys in hand, and you will feel something closer to gratitude than pain. Not because the hurt wasn't real. Because you'll finally understand what it was building toward. The business you've been nurturing in secret is about to stop being a secret. The promotion you stopped expecting is closer than the silence made it feel. The recognition you told yourself not to want anymore, because wanting it hurt too much, is on its way regardless of whether you let yourself hope for it out loud. I am not doing this to prove your doubters wrong for their sake. I am doing this because you never stopped showing up, even on the days showing up cost you everything you had left. The critics are about to become spectators. Let them watch. You don't need their apology. You only needed the outcome, and it's already on its way.